I'll proudly fly this thin blue line flag behind me just to piss you off. Okay, guys, I put the link in the chat. Today, we're just going to talk about what I do for work and maybe some funny stories and take questions. Anybody's welcome to come up on the panel if you want to. I will be right back, guys, because I'm working on the ticker that goes on the bottom of the screen. All right, guys, it's open panel. The link's in the chat. Anyone can come up. Hey, Logan.
How's it going?
Not bad. I just got home not that long ago and got out of that hot, nasty uniform.
Do you have one of these?
A back scratcher?
Yeah.
No.
It's the first thing I reached for when I took my uniform off. After wearing that vest all day, I'm like, ah! That is one of my best friends in the world, that back scratcher.
Oh, I know the feeling. No. first thing I do when I get home is usually grab something to eat and then take a shower. A cold
Okay.
shower on hot days.
Cold shower, hot days, hot shower, cold days. I know that drill. So, what kind of security are we talking about?
Ah, I do a little bit of everything. Um, One of the main things I do is I do active shooter planning.
Okay.
So I cover everything from prevention to response and recovery.
Okay.
Um, Another thing I do is I supervise a whole huge group of the guards.
Okay.
So I cover multiple sites from the north half of Metro Atlanta, from west to east, all the way out to Athens, where UGA campus is.
Okay.
But as far as the security aspect, I do a little bit of everything. Patrols, access control, um, report, going over the reports from all the guards and checking everything, making sure that they got all their I's dotted and all their T's crossed.
Mm.
And
So, are most of your accounts business accounts, or are they construction accounts, high rise accounts? Because that's got its own deal you got to do
ours,
in high rise.
ours are a little bit of everything. We do warehouses, factories. At one point, and we no longer have this contract since COVID, but we used to have the Atlanta Humane Society uh, buildings. Um, we do some bar and grills, some apartment complexes, some storage facilities.
I'm digesting all of this because it sounds like you're doing a lot of the same stuff I did when I was working security. Um, Ours were mostly either office buildings, high rises in downtown LA, or industrial sites. And that and when I mean industrial sites, I mean it. We had one manufacturing company that was, hey, great, it's a lucrative contract, but we get hired by construction companies when they're putting up condos or a little tract of homes or something, so nobody walks off with the copper cable that's sitting out on the spools or stuff like that,
Oh yeah,
or the landscaping plants. Those are expensive.
yeah. The one manufacturing plant that we have for my area, where
Mhm.
I cover, is a huge international auto parts manufacturer. They make auto parts for all the car manufacturers to put on the new cars before they roll off assembly.
How and I don't, if you don't feel comfortable asking this, but we all know what happens in a security company. What kind of percentage do you find that your guards come up dirty?
Mm, it depends on the area. I mean, if it's more outside of the area of this of downtown area, that is, uh, not that much. When the closer we get to the city is where we find that the guards are a little more dirtier than you would think.
We had I don't have the exact statistics, but in the 2.5 years I worked in this one company before I got picked up by customs, say
Mhm.
about 3 to 5% of our guards were dirty. And when I say dirty, One was actually stealing cars from a car dealership.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and you want to hear a story about brain surgeons at work. The guy worked at one Chevy dealership, stole the car, just drove it off the lot that night. Still had the dealer tags on it, and went to work at the other Chevy dealership that he worked at. Didn't realize that the dealerships talk to each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
especially,
man.
especially if the dealerships are owned by the same, well, have the same name for the dealership.
Oh, no. They were two different dealerships in two different parts of the town, but all the Chevy dealerships have to go to the district meetings to get the new updates for all the next year's vehicles and everything.
Yeah.
They talk
Yes, they do.
and they share information. Hey, we lost a car this week. If you see it, got another guy, and this is why I know landscaping plants are so expensive. He was out in Santa Monica, and his buddies would show up in a pickup truck, and they just load up these trees and shrubs and everything. And where'd they go? I don't know. They were gone when I got here. Okay.
Oh, we before I worked for the company I work for now, I used to work for Allied Universal back when they were called Allied Barton.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked on the Simons Property Group contract, which Simons Property Group owns the largest mall in the country.
Okay.
We had one of our guards because Simons decided for their contract, instead of having our security company provide the patrol cars for the parking lot, that they were going to provide their own. And we had a brand new Ford Escape, and one of the guards decided he was going to goof off. It was late at night, and he's out in the parking lot swerving. I had just become a shift supervisor at that particular site, and I'm sitting in my office, which is right next to our dispatch office at the mall. And our dispatcher says, "What in the hell is this guy doing?" And I said, "What's who doing?" And I peeked my head out from my door to look at the cameras at dispatch. And I see the security patrol SUV doing swerves back and forth in the parking lot, crossing the parking aisles, not going up and down them doing this. He's cutting across the parking aisles. And about that time, I get out of my chair and walk in there and look, he's cut the wheel so sharp and he's going so fast in this little Ford Escape that he slides the driver's side of the Ford Escape into one of those huge light poles in the parking lot of the mall.
The ones that have the 5-foot wide cement bases on them?
Yes.
Got it.
And he crawled over the center console.
You just muted yourself. Well, Abby, yes, I did malls, and they weren't an internal mall like Paul Blart. It was like a grocery store with other mall type stuff around it. But yeah, I have. Got to see Christina Applegate stoned out of her mind one night. Not a problem, dude.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Wife came in and decided she wanted to know what we're going to have for dinner tonight since I'm the cook. But he crawled over the center console, got out of the passenger side door, walked 10 feet away from the SUV, laid himself down on the parking lot asphalt. Kind of looked like he was getting ready to make a snow angel. And then reached up and grabbed the microphone for the two-way radio and goes, "Officer down!" In meantime, me and the dispatcher have sat and watched this whole thing happen. I just reached over and tapped the desk microphone for dispatch and said, "Get up, get your ass to the office now." "I'm injured." "I don't believe you. I've seen everything. Get up here." He tried to quit. And
before he got fired?
He tried to quit. He tried to resign. And Allied at that point in time had a policy that if you damaged property and tried to quit, they weren't going to accept your resignation. You had to work and pay it off.
Great policy. It's not that enforceable, though.
Yeah, it's not.
I get it. Like in people doing stupid shit. I had this one guy. It was a 5-story building down in Costa Mesa, California. It was being built, and the only tenant in this building was the building management company. Everything else was empty. They didn't even have doorknobs on the doors. So I go there for a post check, and the guard's not at his station. Okay, it's near the top of the hour. Maybe he went out on his rounds. So I sit around for an hour. He's supposed to go once an hour. So I'm sitting there for an hour. No sign of the guard. Okay. Go to the top of the building. Start doing a spiral search pattern all the way down. Second floor, the only door in the building that's closed. Should I go behind this closed door? Slip the latch, go in. There's the guy standing there looking out the window. There's a phone book in a plastic bag on the floor, and there is this perfect outline of a human being laying down on the floor in the brand new carpet. It's like, dude, what are you doing sleeping? I wasn't sleeping. Yes, you were.
Oh, no.
Anyway, long story short, he threatened my life, and we gave him his final check the next day.
Yeah, this company that I work for now, they are brutal when it comes to terminations. We terminated one, what was it, 3 years ago? Because now I've got my guard card, so I can carry a firearm with me at work.
Okay.
But a lot of the sites that are closer to Atlanta, for some reason, they don't want armed guards. They only want unarmed.
That's for insurance liability.
Yeah. And this guard went and got his guard card.
Uh-oh, you had to mute. And I'm going to have to run away real quick. I'm still listening, but hang on. Okay, I'm back. DoorDash dinner. Okay, we've got dead air. Does anybody in the chat have any questions? If anybody's in the chat. Yes, there's two. I think it's me, commentator auditor. Hmm.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
yeah, I'm back.
So what's for dinner?
She's decided we're having chicken for
I
dinner.
thought you were in charge of dinner.
No, she's decided.
Okay. I was married. I know how that goes.
Hey, keep the wife happy, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, geez, I done forgot where I was.
I was talking about the guard that fell asleep on the job and then threatened to kill me because I caught him.
Oh yeah. No, we had one that had went and got his guard card, but never went and did the continual education classes. Never went and took the biannually requalifications for the firearm either.
Mm-hmm.
So his armed guard card, it expired.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a call from one of the apartment complexes that we have saying that a tenant had this particular guard chase him down in a golf cart and pull a big black gun on the guy. And I'm like, wait, he's not, the guard that was there wasn't certified that night. And you're a site that doesn't have a contract for armed services. So I know it wasn't one of our guns because I have to check one out at the beginning of every shift.
Mm-hmm.
So we went that night in regular cars and just hid in the parking lot of the apartment complex, waiting for him to show up again.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, he shows up. He's got one of our tasers that he never turned back in from working one site that we used to have. He's wearing a full duty belt with a drop leg Safariland holster, a Glock 17, baton, pepper spray, the company issued two-way radio, 4 pairs of handcuffs.
4.
Safari, or not Safariland, but Bianchi.
Okay, Bianchi cuffs.
They make a cuff pouch that will hold 2 pairs of handcuffs, and he had 2 of those double cuff pouches. So he had 4 pairs of handcuffs. And what he pulled the gun on the guy for was because the guy came into the apartment complex and violated the apartment complex policy that you can't blast loud music from your car.
Okay.
I'm like, you don't pull a gun on somebody for that. We wound up.
We have a term for people like that. Then that term is ate up.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's just over the top. Jeremy DeWitt is their poster child. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you get people. We had one of those that worked at Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital, and he even went so far as to have the auctioned off black and white with the alley lights on it.
Oh, good grief.
And it's like, come on, dude. But hey,
I'm glad we don't use Ford Crown Vics. I mean, we had a couple as backups like a couple of years ago, but we got rid of those.
Oh, I miss my Crown Vic.
Yeah, I couldn't stand it because it was the first time I'd ever driven a Crown Vic for patrols. And the one that I had, there was a little button underneath that footrest next to the driver's side door.
Yeah.
That if you mash that button, it disengaged the linkage between the shifter on the column and the transmission.
Really?
Yes. I remember it because I got in the car one day. I had pulled into Starbucks, or not Starbucks, but Quick Trip. Went in and grabbed coffee and some water and checked out, went back out to the car, got in it. And apparently when I had went to get out of the Crown Vic, I had hit that button.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get back in the car and I sit down and I crank it up and I put my foot on the brake and drop it into reverse and then let off. And the car's not moving. I'm like, what is wrong with this car? I had to call the office and like, look, I don't know what's wrong with this Crown Vic, but this thing is not moving. I've got it in reverse and it's not moving. Did you check to see if you pressed the button? What button? There's a button underneath the footrest near the driver's side door. Tap it after you've put it back in neutral. Tap that button and then put it back in reverse and see if it works. And that was the problem. I had hit that button. So I put it in park, hit the button again, dropped it down in reverse, and I could move.
I had no idea. And I drove one for years.
It was supposed to be a safety feature like on the last few year models that they made.
Okay.
So that if a cop had someone pulled over on a traffic stop and they decided to take that person and put them in handcuffs and in the back seat of the car while they went to search the person's vehicle. If the person managed to get up into the front seat of the patrol car, they couldn't drive off with it.
Okay. So did you have the police package?
A few of ours were the police package. A few of ours were the just regular Crown Vic package, regular civilian package.
Abby, you got to put YouTube.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey, Abby.
Yeah, I can tell security tales from the jail.
I've got a lot of friends that worked at the jail and did security for them.
Let's just say it was a fun year working there, and then my husband has quite a few stories because he worked docket for 12 about 10 or 11 of the years, 12 years he worked for the jail. I mean, for example, he booked in a woman who butt dialed 911 while telling her friends how she burglarized a home.
Logan's face says everything.
No kidding. At first, I thought he told me that the girl had butt dialed 911 while she was committing it. No, she was bragging about it to a friend and butt dialed 911 to tell while it was going on.
There really is a term called felony stupid.
Yeah, and I cannot count how many times we had cases of incarceritis come through. You know, the ones that have a heart attack or the stroke or the seizures or whatever when they're arrested and come into the jail.
Mhm.
Conveniently, when they hit the Sally Port and the door starts rolling down, and when we open up the door to the patrol unit, and all of a sudden they're dying.
Oh yeah. Last ditch delaying tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And the medical staff finally caught on eventually about how to handle these guys. So if we ever had somebody come in that got bruises, cuts, all that good stuff, if they didn't go to the hospital, we called out our guys, our medical unit, and told them, and they said, okay, let me come out there. They would come out to the Sally Port with they don't move from that patrol car. And if they're deemed bad enough, they're going to go back to the hospital with that officer. And you could, some curse words were said from the officer. Because they're like, I do not want to go sit in the hospital for 2-3 hours.
Yes, well, we don't want to babysit your problem either, officer. So
yeah, and we don't want them dying on the county dime. Because, or excuse me, unalive themselves.
Unalive themselves.
Sorry, I forget where YouTube comes in and gets all, let's just say sensitive.
Well, the worst thing they can do is either strike the video for me, because they can't demonetize me because I can't make money off of my videos.
So nana boo boo on YouTube. Oh goodness. Yeah, I'm on my way to go get in that infamous car line at my daughter's school to go pick her up.
Oh.
Is that a requirement these days?
Well, she's at a private school, but yeah, all the public schools that you can either car ride or you can bus ride or walk. But our city recently consolidated the 2 high schools into one.
Okay.
So that's been fun. And they made one of the high schools a preparatory academy for 9th graders. And then the other part is the high school, which is 10 through 12.
Okay.
So
I know security has changed since I went to high school. I mean,
oh yeah.
I could drive.
My daughter's school has a on-site officer. I mean, we have plenty of parents that are deputies or police officers. I think we even got a trooper in there, maybe a game warden.
I never had to deal with school officers at all when I was going to school, but now they have one assigned to each high school.
Yep.
Middle school too.
Here, they don't have an officer assigned to each high school. Here, they have an entire police department that is under the Board of Education for our county. So the county school board has their own police department.
LA
Wow.
County does too, but I'm in a different county. We never had that, but these days it's when I was going to high school, open campus, you could come and go. If you had a driver's license, you could drive to school. If you were over 18, you could have a firearm in your rack in the back of the car, in the window.
Oh yeah.
Remember those days?
Yes, sir. I lived in a county. I graduated from a county high school, and it was not untold to have a rack in your back of your pickup truck or SUV, and have a dead deer sitting there because you went hunting that morning.
Right. And yet now, Geez, don't
Oh,
you're
you
chewing
need
your
finger
Pop-Tart into the
guns
shape
and
of a
you were
pistol.
gone.
Oh, now kids will get in trouble for a water pistol.
They'll get in trouble for drawing a gun.
What about that kindergartner? The judge upheld his suspension for chewing his Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun.
Yes. Oh, I remember that.
It's like, come on.
I tried Smitty's challenge, and I actually posted a picture of me trying to eat a Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun.
Okay.
That's not possible.
Oh gosh. And not too long ago, there were these phone cases that came out. I think they were like Wish.com or Alibaba or wherever those, those Chinese mega stores.
Alibaba or AliExpress, those guys.
Yeah. And they were in the shape of handguns. So that when you went to put it in your pocket, the grip stuck out to look like you were packing. Tell me that ain't going to get somebody killed.
Well, that's like my brother used to have a lighter that looked like a Colt 1911.
They still make them.
I've seen those.
And his was big. I mean, you had to refill with the aerosol can of butane.
Oh yeah, butane. Yes. Stuff that would freeze your fingers off if you let it go too long.
I mean, his was almost the size of an actual 1911. And
good Lord.
You pulled the trigger to light the lighter.
Jeez. I know when I worked in my kitchen accessory store in the mall, and this was an interior mall, we had shotgun style lighters where you pulled the trigger and you had to pull back on the slide action to make it go from child safety, and then click the trigger to make it go. I was like, okay.
I got in a little hot water at work one time. They were filming a TV show or a movie or something at LAX, and I was just hanging around Terminal 2 because I was turning my drugs in, and I hit Starbucks, and I'm just taking a break because I just
whoa, turning your drugs in?
Yeah.
Oh, what you confiscated? Okay.
No. It's what I get issued. I was a drug dog handler. We have to take stuff out for training aids.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you got to go turn it in at the end of the day, and it's like, okay, it's hot. I worked. I'm gonna get me a nice ice something from Starbucks, and I did. And I'm standing out there, and they're filming. And I'm talking to one of the prop guys, and I said, "How do you make those, wannabe bombs?" He goes, "Oh, Play-Doh and butcher paper." And he pulled one up, and it was like 3 things that looked like dynamite, and they just mineral oil on the butcher paper to make it that oily looking paper stuff. Plug it into some tubes, take a piece of double-sided tape and put a little clock on it, run some wires in it, twist the wires around, run it in there. He goes, instant prop. I'm like, cool. Is that clock work? He goes, yeah, you want it? I said, sure. Put that on my desk. It worked. That did not last 10 minutes before somebody started yelling.
I was about to say, did we have a Code Brown situation?
Yeah. So I took it down to the harbor, and I knew the chief down there. He and I came up together, and I said, hey, you want a training aid? He goes, what do you mean, like a drug training aid? I said, no, anti-terrorism training aid. What you got? And I said, here, tossed it to him. He's like, holy crap, that thing looks real. And I said, put that in the box.
Love it. We can be wicked with our sense of humor in the law enforcement security fields.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I had a guy at when I worked on the mall security contract. We called him the and pardon me French here, YouTube. We called him the cock blocker. And we called him that for a reason. Every day he went around the parking lot on patrol looking for people doing the dirt in the car.
Uh,
No, Logan.
I never
Logan,
found any.
this is what's going to make you laugh.
Uh,
This will make you
Uh-oh.
laugh. So he found someone up underneath the parking deck in front of J.C. Penney's.
okay.
Windows were starting to fog up. They hadn't completely fogged up yet, but they had started to. It's like 40 something degrees outside. And he radios for a supervisor. So I go out and I talk to him, and he points out the car. I said, well, why haven't you knocked on the window and stopped it? I just want some backup. Okay. I walk out there with him. He knocks on the window. And this Asian guy, his girlfriend, is giving him a handy mandy in the back seat.
Don't bring Mandy into this.
Woo.
Still in the chat.
I was about to say,
And-
y'all probably caught a lot of late night lovers, didn't you?
Oh, this one, he got so surprised when little old Eric, the cock blocker, knocked on the window that he finished the job. And I'm like, oh, like, no, Eric, you did that. You're cleaning that up. I'm not going in there. I'm not touching that with any nitrile gloves on. That's all you.
This is your case, big guy. Handle it.
Okay, so can I tell an embarrassing late night lover story on myself?
Sure.
Sure.
I'll follow up with one.
I was dating a guy. This was way back when I thought I knew what love was. So basically 18, 19 years old. And we were trying to find a place to get to know each other a little better. But neither one of us had any money for a motel room or anything. So we got the bright idea to go behind the local Walmart to where the loading docks were and found a spot that we could sneak into. We thought nobody would ever see us. It wasn't at the dock. It was like in a tree-lined area, and this is late night. We turned off the lights in the vehicle and started having a relationship. I'm trying to figure out how to term this.
Really hugging.
Yes. And next thing we know, we hear a knock on the window. My boyfriend rolls down the window and he goes, "Yes, sir." He goes, "When y'all get through, just toss the condom over there in the dumpster." And walked on by. Let's just say the moment ended with that interruption.
Kind of a
Didn't
mood
build
killer,
anything
huh?
on that mood.
What are they recycling them?
But yeah, I just can never get over the guy. He must see this every night because he was just like, toss it over there. Don't toss it on the ground.
Yeah, I don't want
Oh, the mall. The mall was the worst. I mean, I busted a 15 and 16-year-old one time,
Oh, I don't doubt it.
and they were up on a balcony overlooking a parking lot on the exterior of the mall.
Oh,
I walked out, and the girl had her hands down her boyfriend's pants, just going to town. And as soon as I opened the door, she stopped, and they just turned around and looked away from me. I'm like, hold up, I already saw everything. Like, first off, that door I just walked through, that is a solid glass door. I can see everything on the other side of it. And
Oh, I would
both of them
die.
turn around and look at me and go, "We weren't doing anything." I said, "So you're telling me the new fashion style is pants unbuttoned, unzipped, and belt buckle undone? Y'all get away with that at school?"
She was checking to see if he was Jewish.
And then they wanted to lie to me.
Oh yeah,
They
of course.
I asked them, I said, "Okay, I need to see IDs." "We don't have IDs." where do you go to school? Well, I go to school at Collins Hill. I go to school at North Gwinnett. Well, you guys are lying to me because I know that the county public school system, which Collins Hill and North Gwinnett are both part of the county school system, every school issues a picture ID of every student.
Smart. I wish ours would do that down here.
Oh, the ones here have done it for years. They were doing it when I was in school. And if you walk
Nope,
out of your
not down
classroom
here.
without your little agenda book and your student ID card, you were in trouble.
A gender.
The only card that they issued at my high school was for the free lunches.
Now, going back to school security with my school, they were relaxed. Once you hit driving age, you could leave the high school during your lunch break and go to the nearest fast food joint to the school and grab something to eat and bring it back.
Not mine. Mm-mm. Unless you were driver's ed or the health occupation students, but the health occupation students left the campus totally and went on to their health occupations off-site place. Like I worked in the pediatrics wing of the local hospital. We had some that worked in the morgue, some that worked at a vet, some worked here, there, and yonder.
Well,
But if you were caught bringing that
Sound like a
stuff on
Dr.
campus,
Seuss book.
Well, senior year for me in school, I did joint enrollment. So I did 3 regular high school classes at my regular high school, and then I went to the vocational school.
Oh, cool.
And I did a year worth of vocational training in law enforcement and criminal justice.
They offered that at your vocational?
Yeah.
Sweet. Georgia, y'all just one up in Alabama everywhere we go.
Hey, our community college has an exotic animals program here.
Oh boy.
No, I mean like elephants and giraffes.
Yeah.
Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my.
Yeah, and it's in conjunction with the LA Zoo and with Fish and Wildlife because of all the indigenous wildlife around here. So you need vets who know how to treat exotic animals. So, and another one of our local colleges is a police academy that anyone can go to if you can afford the tuition.
Yeah, right now in Georgia, Georgia just started a program where a few of the technical colleges offer actual police academy training now. So you can go to one of those, become a certified police officer through that program, and then apply that plus the college credits you get from taking the course and hand that over to a police agency. And a lot of people have done that program and gotten jobs right out of the gate.
That's about the only way you can become an officer in California now. You've got to go through an 830 to 832 penal code course of study. They just call it 832 PC, and get the coursework. A lot of departments don't have the budget to put you through coursework. So if you were to do that yourself, apply for the job, hey, great, we bring you in. All we have to do is your 1-year required probationary period. And
nice.
Yeah, and it saves them a lot of money. So if you want to be a cop, that's a great route to go.
Oh man, I wish it was a 1-year probation period here. Georgia, just about every department is 2 years of probation.
What I wish is county jails would make incoming police officers and deputies work a year in the jail before they go to the road.
The Gwinnett County Jail here, where I live, they do that. You start off as a deputy in the jail, and you have to be there in the jail for 2 years.
I found out about it through a show that's on Reels right now called Jail, and Vegas does that. You go a year or 2 years through the jail as a guard or as a correctional officer, even though you are a post certified officer.
Mhm.
And then you go to road.
California does that with all its sheriff's departments.
Ours down here in Alabama is any Joe Schmo off the street that's 18 or older, has no criminal record, graduated high school or GED, no fitness requirements, just be able to lift 50 pounds or more. Like, how many inmates are 50 pounds? Hardly any in ours. But,
Gwinnett County, you have to do a 1.5 mile run in 14 minutes and 45 seconds or better. You have to do a bench press of at least 50% of your body weight.
I'm done.
You have to do a sit and reach and extend your fingers a certain amount of inches past your toes. And you have to do at least 100 sit-ups in a certain amount of time.
That sounds like our local police department's physical requirements test, and I think our deputies too.
Mm-hmm.
But the correctional deputies, nope.
That's the requirement just to get through the hiring process before academy.
Wow. See, that's what I wish we would do as academy. They do it for our state level prisons, but not at the county or city.
Once you get to the academy, it's a bunch of practical exercises, and if you don't make the cut, and they have a certain time limit for the cut, the practical exercises are like run and jump like a 6-foot long sand pit without touching the sand. You have to be able to jump over a 4-foot tall fence, then climb over a 6-foot tall fence, run up a flight of stairs and down a flight of stairs, then run to a patrol car, grab a dummy, one of those heavy, huge dummies, out of the passenger seat of the patrol car and drag it 50 feet backwards without falling. And then you run over to a table with a firearm with no magazine in it, and you have to pull the trigger until you hear what would be the sound of it firing around 6 times with your dominant hand and then 6 times with your non-dominant hand.
See, we didn't carry guns, thank God, because some of them would not be. There were some of those I wouldn't trust with a BB.
Oh, there's some of the security guards that I work with that I wouldn't even trust with a can of pepper spray, let alone a firearm
or a water pistol.
They'd wet themselves.
Pretty much.
I had one guy.
Them warm bodies. They're there to just fill an insurance requirement.
Oh.
I had one guy, because the way the company works, since it's a small family-owned company, is the owner said, if you guys want to carry pepper spray that are unarmed, you can. But you guys can only use it to defend yourselves. Don't go running up and just spraying people because you see them breaking rules.
Oh,
and
yeah.
One of the guys decided the smart idea was, instead of getting a little pepper spray holder to put on his regular pants belt,
right,
he stuck it in his pocket, and it didn't have the little safety lid on his pepper spray. And he sprayed his crotch full of that. And I remember, because I had pulled up to the site to do an inspection, and he's jumping up and down. He's already taken one of those 1-gallon water jugs you can get at Walmart that's ice cold just out of his cooler and dumped it down his pants. And I'm looking at him like, what'd you do? I maced my
Great
balls.
balls of fire.
Great balls of fire. Yeah. Hey, look, just for the safety tip here, guys. This is, you can get this off of Amazon. Pepper gel. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. This is the top. Let me get some light on it. There we go. This is the top. It's got this great latched thing that covers the trigger.
Yep.
Snaps down. Safest one I've ever come across. We used to carry these on the job, and then they gave us the ones with a trigger on it. You need an actual special container in your spray holster just so that trigger doesn't get depressed.
Yeah.
So, and you get different standpoints on whether you get gel, spray, or foam. They all have their pluses. They all have their minuses. So just whatever your need is, get the one that works best for you.
And I'll stick with what I carry for pepper spray. It's, for me, it's a whole lot better than carrying a can of spray.
I have never ever had to pepper spray a person, but I have had to pepper spray more than 10 dogs. Just because their owners have them off leash and they want to come fight with mine. And it's like, nope. Works great.
Yeah.
We had a deputy tase dogs.
I don't know if I want to go that far. Pepper spray, just you don't even really need to hit them. They get a whip, they get a snoot full of that, and it just takes the fight right out of them.
Because
His
their
OC
noses
can
are so
malfunction.
sensitive.
Oh yeah, it can. My foot doesn't.
Well, these two were coming at him at full speed attack mode, and he was like, look, he had responded to an animal complaint of loose dogs, and he was the neighbor that called it in said, okay, they're around here somewhere, but the owner is this trailer right down the road. So he went to the trailer, and he was looking on one end, and the neighbor screamed at him, "Here they come." And they came from the other side, around the corner of the other side of the trailer, full force at him.
Mm-hmm.
He tried the OC spray. It malfunctioned. It did not even deploy. So he grabbed his taser, and he hated to do it because he was a canine officer.
Mm-hmm.
He loves dogs. But he let it go. The probe caught one of the dogs, laid him out. And the other dog got tangled up in the wires. Needless to say, they both took off running.
Mm-hmm.
They're okay, because he went back and checked on the with the owner on that. But there has been a time or two where they've had to threaten it too.
Yeah, I haven't had to pepper spray anybody, but I don't carry pepper spray, at least, because we have a second option. We carry the Byrna SD pepper ball launchers.
I wish our jail had those.
So I can stand up to 60 feet away from somebody and hit them with that.
Exactly.
And the ones we carry, because Georgia law is so relaxed when it comes to pepper spray and chemical self-defense weapons. The ones we carry not only OC powder in the pepper balls, but they also have the CS powder as well.
Ooh.
So you get a double dose of pepper spray and tear gas.
Yeah, you do. Wow. We had an officer during briefing at the beginning of a shift have his canister go off and coat the entire break room with all of us in it.
Who knew?
We had one of our canine officers. She was engaged to a Hawthorne police officer. And he responded to a call one night, and it was this 350-pound dude running straight at him. Pulled out his pepper spray and sprayed the guy. He still kept coming. So the officer pulls out his gun and shoots the guy right through his hand because he forgot to put the pepper spray down.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah, he's not lived that down yet. That was like 15 years ago, and they still tease him about it.
when I went through taser training and OC training, my instructor at that time, who was a lieutenant in our jail, and he was certified trainer, told us the story of this video that was going around the law enforcement community called Mr. Nightmare. It was supposedly a guy that got shot so many times and kept going. Ended up killing a few officers and all that, but supposedly it shows him even getting a headshot and still going.
Was he on PCP?
I think I know the video you're talking about because we watched that in law enforcement class back when I was my senior year in high school.
They said it had been going around the law enforcement community for a while, but they said you could see the holes in his body clean through, and he was still going.
Yeah, it was PCP he was on.
I was wondering.
He was on PCP, and the headshot, it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Mississippi State Police that this happened to.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the department, but I want to say it was Mississippi because I was sitting here going, dang, what is up with all those Southerners?
The Mississippi State Police officer emptied his main service weapon into the guy, emptied all the magazines for it, and then he had a snub-nosed .38 revolver, and he emptied 5 rounds into the guy's body and somehow got on the guy's back and put the muzzle of the .38 up on top of the guy's head and pulled the trigger, and he could look down through the hole in the guy's head and see the floor below him.
Yep.
And the guy bled out from his injuries, and that's what stopped him.
Oh, okay. But they said that every hit was a clean through and through. He looked like Swiss cheese, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here going, what in dear God was the man taking? Because it had to be a synthetic something. It had to be drugs of some kind.
You know, I think the most horrific police shooting video I saw during law enforcement class was the Kyle Dinkkeller video.
The who?
Kyle Dinkkeller. You can find the actual video footage on YouTube. It's a Lowndes County, Georgia deputy. He pulled over a Vietnam vet. And hey, Alan Nice.
Excuse me for 1 second. No, you keep talking. I'm just gonna see a man about a dog.
All right. But Kyle Dinkkeller is the deputy. He pulls over a Vietnam vet up in northwest Georgia.
Oh boy.
And gets the guy pulled over on a back road. The Vietnam vet gets out of his truck. He's in a little Toyota pickup truck. One of those little bitty small ones they made back like in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Or early 90s. And he started dancing in the middle of the road, begging Kyle to shoot him and kill him. And Kyle's just telling him, sir, just get back in your car, get back in your car.
Yeah.
The guy goes back to his car and reaches behind the seat because wasn't an extended cab, it was a single cab.
Right.
And he reaches and grabs an M1 carbine and loads it, and he methodically takes out Kyle Dinkkeller. He took out his shoulders, his elbows, and then his hips. and then the final shot was to Kyle's head, and it
Oh my
killed him.
gosh.
And you could hear in the video, you don't see it. You see the shootout, but you don't see Kyle get shot because Kyle has worked his way around behind his patrol car. But at the end of the video, after Andrew Brannon gets in his Toyota pickup truck and flees the scene, you can hear Kyle gargling on his own blood and choking on it.
Oh.
Is a very, very graphic video to watch. And
Yeah, that puts the West Hollywood shootout to shame.
yeah.
I think I remember seeing that one pop up on YouTube one time when I was doing research on officer-involved shootings. And there's even one from LAPD floating around where it was a car chase where the guys were trying to stop this car, and as he saw officers that were trying to join in, the suspect unloaded, and there was quite a few dead officers being shown on the video.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here going, okay, that's enough for this research. It's like, okay, I'm done on that subject. Let me pick another.
Yeah,
I remember watching that North Hollywood bank robbery live on TV.
Oh gosh, yes. I did too.
Yeah,
But
The one
think
guy that died in police custody was his name, Matsuranu, I think it was. He was on the cover of Police magazine, handcuffed on the ground, still alive, and a cop pretty much kneeling over his back, waiting for the other guy to get taken into custody so they could get EMS in there. But he managed to bleed out before they did.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, North Hollywood shootout, that I remember. I remember the O.J. Simpson police chase. Oh, good grief. That
I was in the riots during that. I was a security supervisor, and a lot of our accounts got demolished during that shit.
and oh no, there was one here that happened a few years ago where a semi truck got stolen and was chased all around the downtown Atlanta interstate system. Georgia State Patrol was trying. At one point, one of the state troopers actually tried to point a shotgun because it was a FTO driving the patrol car and a fresh out of the academy rookie sitting in the passenger seat. The rookie took the shotgun out of the rack and was trying to shoot out the semi tires.
isn't that a no-no?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I mean, there was one in Texas where I seen that I think it was a courthouse escape that you seen a deputy jump on the hood of another state trooper's car with a AR-15 assault rifle and drive down the street trying to chase after the escapee.
Yeah. Man versus car does not work well. There was a LAX airport policeman
Yeah.
who was responding to a suspicious person call, and it was this homeless looking guy that was out on the north fence of LAX, out on the non-airport side of the fence.
Yeah.
So he approaches the guy, and the guy punches him, jumps into his vehicle, and goes to take off. Well, the officer tries to dive through the driver's window to turn the car off, put it in park, do whatever, because he had a bunch of weapons in the vehicle. And the guy drove the vehicle through the chain link fence onto the airfield, decapitating the officer.
Ooh.
Yeah. don't jump on cars.
No.
And the sad thing is that guy was a buddy of mine. I knew him. And it's like,
Very sorry for your loss, man.
yeah, well, it's a very realistic, stark reminder, even to those of us who live in Hollywood. It's all in the movies. Don't be going up against a car. You're going to lose.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I had to tell my boss that at this company that I work for now.
Mhm.
We were at that site I was telling you about where they make the car parts for the auto parts for the manufacturers, and we had a couple of people drag race out, and the security checkpoint for that site is right in the middle of the road between the buildings in the industrial park. And my boss decided she was going to step out, and I just grabbed her and yanked her back. And I'm like, that's a 2,000-pound car. You're $150 at the most. It's not going to be pretty.
Call from.
Yeah, I'm not answering that.
Yeah, it's a spam call, isn't it?
Yeah. Last time I answered one of those, they're trying to tell me I won the lottery, but I have to pay $500. I'm like, well,
Right.
why don't you just take the $500 out of the money I won on the lottery?
You can't talk logic to him.
Has the Nigerian prince contacted you too?
I think we have stunned Fa into muteness with our stories.
Yeah, that he's not realized he's muted himself.
Oh, it's Smitty. Never mind.
You rang?
Gotta love you, man.
No, you don't.
Hey, Smitty. No, I didn't make the baloney holster for the gun.
Oh,
Hang on.
if you enjoyed the pub first,
I posted it over on Amanda's Discord server.
you probably ate it.
Not even a delay, man. Just straight out. You probably ate it. Nice.
I don't.
Yeah, eating a Pop-Tart into the shape of a firearm, that's not possible.
Nope.
Especially one like the one that was in the picture for the article.
Well, I told you they just did a cutout of whatever firearm that was and overlaid a Pop-Tart. That wasn't chewed out that way.
Yeah.
It's like a Pop-Tart skin.
Hold on.
No,
Let me go to
the kid probably bit off a corner and then bit the middle, and the kindergarten teacher lost her mind. I mean, how else are you supposed to eat a Pop-Tart?
I had a little pistol when I was a kid. It was like a little plastic pistol, but it was a pencil sharpener. And I used to walk around with it, and so I go, fill your full of lead. Joked us old after a while.
Yeah, I'll get you suspended these days.
Oh, I've been suspended so many times.
that will definitely get you suspended. It depending on the school district and how I hate to use the word, but how woke the school district is, could get you expelled.
Yeah, I'm lucky my daughter ain't in school anymore, or she would have been expelled because of me.
Hold on, let me download this picture off of Amanda's page. And then
got
I'll
merch yet,
upload it in
CA?
here and show it to you. What?
I said, do you have merch yet?
No.
All right. Do you want it?
Let me see. Let me go to brand.
I guess not.
Let me go to, where's overlays? And now my phone won't shut up. Yep, sorry, nope, not responding to that text message either. That's work calling.
I take it's a day off.
Oh, it's been a day off. I'm not going back. I didn't get to leave on time. I was supposed to leave at noon. I didn't get to leave till 2:30.
Oh, that sucks. You know, it's always a problem right when you're trying to walk out. It's like, why couldn't have you brought this to my attention 3 hours ago? Well, I didn't know you were leaving. And you wait until right now. You fucking, yeah, I know how that goes.
Great. It won't let me. So, hold on. Let me share my screen. If the computer will speed up. Because I'm still trying to fix my regular computer.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just having to work on a few things off camera.
Okay, Abby.
Smitty, I know you
Okay.
didn't just fart.
Huh?
It sounded like you tooted.
No, I said,
Mm. Okay, I told you about them beans. They are the musical fruit.
well, if you want me to fart on air, I'll do it.
That petition request.
I mean, this chat took a weird turn, but I mean, that's how you want to end. You can't make them laugh.
Leather chairs are the worst. They'll make you sound like you farted in so many ways.
That's what you experienced there.
Okay, it should be sharing the screen.
That's the
I didn't
top
know you were trying to
ugly-
make the state of Florida.
Well, yeah. Not
That's-
bad.
That's the best attempt I could do. I tried to make it look like a Glock, but
You did pretty
That's
darn
actually
good.
not bad. If it's in your bologna ulcer, nobody will see you're the defect.
I could see a kindergartner teacher overreacting to that.
to me it looks like a witch's nose almost.
You know what it looks like to me?
Uh-oh.
The crust out of the way so you can go over the filling part piece by piece. So
Yes.
tell that kindergarten teacher to go pound sand. Judge can join it too.
Okay, and also, when did zero tolerance come into effect with all that? I mean,
I think it was after Sandy Hook.
I think it was too.
Well, it
No, way
started to get
before
that,
all that.
it started to
sorry.
get that way after Columbine.
Yeah, I was about to say Columbine. I think is when we started having to have guards at the high schools with wands, making sure nobody was bringing one in.
Yeah, it started after Columbine. Hey, Amanda.
I tell you what, trench coats definitely got a side eye anytime you saw them in your school. Thanks to those two yahoos.
In my
Yeah.
town, back in the day, the news, local news, was at the high school, filming because of satanic music. They were filming people's denim jackets with Iron Maiden, Merciful Fate. It was a whole big, when the satanic stuff was going on. My stepson went to the one school I went to. I had to go there and pick him up and tell them off because they wanted him to change his shirt because he had an Austin 316 shirt on.
All right. Well, here we go. Here's a question for you guys. All right. Since
All right, you don't
we
care
started
about that?
talking about school security and stuff, and first school shooting, what year did it happen?
Now, whose?
First school shooting ever in the United States. What year did it happen?
No idea.
I'm going to take a wild shot in the dark. Say in the 1950s.
1891.
What?
You're bad at guessing.
Yes, I am.
Liberty,
I didn't-
Mississippi is where it happened too. That's where the first one was.
What people were involved.
That was post Civil War too, so who knows
Yeah.
what could have started that one up.
Yeah, there's no
You
telling.
stole my number 2 pencil.
Did they even have number twos with them?
No, they probably had the ink.
Probably had a quill and an ink well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
My
I would've
uncle
made
had
such
that
a
when
mess
he
with
went to
that.
school. He
Well,
put
either
girls'
that or
pigtails
slavery.
into it.
Yeah, there was two that year. There was the one in Liberty, Mississippi, and then there was one up in New Jersey the same year.
Where?
Was this just a random event where they were coming into the school and shooting, or these students that were doing the shooting? Was this
I have no clue. I've
Oh.
tried to find the articles with the details on it, but all I can find are the dates. Because the first one was in March of 1891 in Liberty, Mississippi, called the Parson Hall shooting.
Huh.
And the one in New Jersey was, I want to say, St. Mary's Parochial School in April. So it wasn't even a full month. It was less than a month after the first one.
What the hell's going on? You're moaning and stuff.
Not me.
And back
Really?
then, guns were a lot more deadly.
I put a girl's head in a vice. Donna.
You what?
Is that foreplay or afterwards?
No. It was a metal shop. The one day I went to school, I used to go to school on Fridays to see what the parties were for the weekend. And
I was fixing to say, you put a girl's head in a vice. That's a hell of a kink there, Smitty.
no, what happened was two kids decided to coax her. Her name was Marla Donahue. Anyway, coaxed her to pull my hair. So she came behind me, was pulling my hair with both her hands. And I kept coming forward, and she's trying to pull my hair back, and I just stood up, grabbed her in a headlock, and opened the vice up, and I had her back of the head. I was like, how you like it now? Yeah. They told me to go home. I went home.
Oh, we lost Abby.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so she didn't like that girl head in the vice.
Yeah, I seen that, Alan Eyes.
And
I'll
to
check
this
it
day,
out.
I'm glad I did it because I found her on Facebook, and she's like Diva Paris Hilton meets Jersey Shore.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, ATB Films. Thanks for joining us.
It'll all be in my book.
Oh, Smitty, you're writing a book?
Yeah.
When's this book going to get published?
I don't know. I'm just in the early stages. I'm doing a book. It'd be like a bathroom book, or it's not one of those books you can read straight through if you want. But it's gonna every chapter is gonna be when I hung out at this mall back in the '80s, '90s. We had a big clique there, and we have stories, and a lot of us are still in touch with each other. So I want to write a book about the metal years back in the mall. And then, everybody's story will be in the book. They'll write it. Of course, they'll be edited or something, and then the stories will connect because a lot of us did the same shit together. So there'll be me flipping my car. 1878 Ford Fairmont, no reverse. There'll be a story about the no reverse. Many stories about that.
Hey, Smitty.
Yeah.
This is in no way meant to burst your bubble. It's meant to do just exactly the opposite, but this could be just as big as Lords of Dogtown.
Oh, yeah, I know all about that, yeah.
So,
and it's none that hasn't been done. I mean, Kevin Smith, covered Metalheads and All Rats. That was down South Jersey. My mall was Northern Jersey.
okay.
We all went down there one day. Did a raid, I guess you would call it. But we ended up making friends with people, and it just shit was crowded. Security's like, oh, what the hell? He's all long-haired people. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I town over, Glenn Danzig, Misfits, lived in Lodi, New Jersey. Who else? Billy Milano from SOD that started MOD. Spandex and Normandy. I never forget that song. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of stories to tell. So I figured, let's document it, So when we go, people can. I don't see a next generation of good music coming anytime soon. In my opinion.
Well, we did suffer through disco, so.
Yeah, this is worse than disco. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Tell you the truth.
No, I mean, I just said we had to suffer through it, so.
Well, you listen to what you want to listen to. I just think there's a lack of talent. It's like they're putting, these Beyonce and everything, the songs they put out, it's like, if one of us made that same exact song, we couldn't even get it published. Nobody would back us up because, one, we're not a woman. It sounds weird singing that song. And two, we're not Beyonce.
Yeah, well, name recognition is a viable business.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish I lived in the 60s. To see the Doors live, Janis Joplin live. Wrong era, but I can still enjoy their music. Yeah. Willie Nelson played again. I go see him. The old time country songs.
Oh, like Willie and Haggard.
Haggard, yeah.
Hank Jr.
Hank Jr. Oh, tell me, Hank, why do you drink to get drunk? I played a couple nights every night at my bar.
Yeah. Have you heard the song that Willie recorded with Merle Haggard before Merle passed away?
I might have.
It's a song right up your alley, Smitty. It's called "It's All Going to Pot." It's a weed smoking song, and Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard in the video for it are sitting there smoking Willie Nelson's marijuana cigarettes.
His private strain.
Yep. And they're doing the song in the studio, on video, on camera, smoking marijuana cigarettes.
I don't know if you were in the last stream of Plot Hole where he talked about Metallica being canceled and something else.
No, I haven't.
Like Sunday, I think it was Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, late, did a stream. And he was talking about this film documentary he's been working on, and it's going to be on Tubi. You know, it's in a festival right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, damn, this dude, he loves Metallica, he's metal, he's my age. So I messaged him, and I'm going to probably, it looks like I may invest in his, what do you call it, film, you know, whatever. You can invest. And whatever he wants me or needs me to invest in. But I like the kind of movies he wants to make, and I thought my book could be a movie, maybe. I mean, I've watched Tubi, and I've watched some horrible movies on there, so, I mean, doesn't even have to be good. You know, if I can get on Tubi, I got something documented for the rest of eternity until the planet's gone, you know. People will see it.
I mean, the quality of movies has gone downhill in the recent years, anyways.
Oh yeah, Tubi, it's like great. I was like, oh, this looks good, and I click on a movie and it started playing, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad. Okay, let's see if there's nudity. All right, I'm not getting nothing here. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't even think the actors know what the hell was going on.
Oh, there was
I'm
one.
not surprised with Chili's bad acting. He's not popular. I mean, that's what's in now on some of these movies.
The Tubi, there was a movie I seen. They did a second movie to Titanic called Titanic 2. I'm like, why the hell you got to mess with a classic? Why you got to make
There's
a
one on
sequel?
Tubi called Titanic 666.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. It looks pretty good quality effect wise. But it's like a ghost ship. You know, like, I don't know, it's weird. I was high, so I don't know. Maybe it's not as bad as it seemed.
I mean, and then they did the remake of the Dukes of Hazzards. They did a Dukes of Hazzards movie, and
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah,
but come on, Johnny Knoxville and Stifler.
Actually, they actually, like I said, it wasn't bad. Willie Nelson as Uncle Jesse.
I can get used to Willie Nelson as Uncle Jesse.
And I like how they got the General Lee, you know. You got to see all that. And
don't forget, Linda Carter was Willie Nelson's love interest.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting a couple months. I'm getting a Challenger, 2011. Did I tell you that? Maybe, I don't know.
You gonna paint it blue with a big 10 on the top and call it the General Grant?
No, it's a toxic orange. It's like a burnt orange, brownish. Depends how the sun hits it. Go ahead.
If I ever got another classic car, I would get probably a Pontiac GTO And I know the 00 from the Dukes of Hazzard was a Mustang, but I would paint the American flag on the top of it, paint it blue, put 00 on the doors, and the name of the car above the door would be Sherman's Revenge.
I can envision that. Okay.
Well, I've been searching high and low for a van. Not with free candy on it, but for the 18 van. Came across a few, but even not totally done. I mean, forget it. You want a total replica, it's going to cost you 40 or 50 grand. I seen yesterday a 1977 Ford Econoline, all black. It needs the red stripe, and just some things changed on the interior. Was half-ass done, and original motor. They want the $9,000 for it. $9,000, 77, original motor and everything. I'm like, holy crap! I mean, the customized, what do you call it? Not customized. The ones with the family van. Those go for 13 grand, 1995 for 300,000 miles. Cars have gone up.
Oh,
I bet you I get it. I have a 78 Cutlass sitting here. I guarantee you I get money on that. Just for the body. I've had a couple guys come around. Hey, you want to feel that? And I'm like, yeah, $1,000. Oh, I was talking about scrap metal. I said, you gonna scrap that? Hell no. I don't let that sit there and rot to the day I die before I let you scrap that. It's getting less and less of these old cars around,
Oh, yeah.
So since I can't have that, I was going to get. Well, I told you I got my stepson. He's got a car shop over there in Georgia. I'm getting, once I get my settlement, I'm getting this car. I'm going to change the rims. When you see them, you'll know why. It's got 15-inch rims on there. Not a fan. They're not bad. They're cool looking, but they would be better if they were 14. Got all new shocks, leafs in it, all thing. And it's got a stereo made for Metallica. And I'm buying it off my door hash guy, so 10 grand. And that's actually cheap.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that's not.
My stepson said he gets the blue and black ones at auction, and he pays about $5,000-6,000 right now, and he'll sell those for 10, 11, 12 grand. He'll get more for the black ones, and that's nothing customized on it. The rims I'm gonna sell because he has the original rims retired. I'm gonna put those on until I find the rims I want. And I haven't driven in 4 years. I've been going on 5. I've been stuck in my house 4 fucking years. Not that I want to go around and be a social butterfly, but I'd like to get go to GameStop instead of calling. Do you have a game? Yeah, all right. I'll see if I get my wife to go there. Yeah, I just want to go be human. Cause some shit. I actually missed Walmart. Never thought I'd say that. Shop there, work there. But anyway, as I was saying with your merch, I got this gal, friend of mine. I met her when I was moderator for her ex-husband now, stream gaming.
Mhm.
But we became friends because we had a lot of interest with government and aliens and Bigfoot. They were out in Utah. She sent me pictures. Anyway, we became friends. She's a single mother. She's out in California now, but she's a great graphic artist. I'll show you the pictures. She used to paint cars. You know, when a car wants like Superman on it or a motorcycle with the skulls on the side, she used to do all that airbrush.
Wow.
I've seen her do tattoos on her husband live on the stream, touching up his tattoos. She does graphic art. She just, I don't know. I'm going to sound ignorant here because I don't know how this works. Basically, she made a logo, and now it's on a shirt in a store because they provide the shirts and everything. I think that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
You shoot them a logo. Well, she started her own thing, and she got one logo up right now. It's a tall tree with the roots, and it's got holding a guitar, and it's supposed to be Entalaga, E-N-T, Entalaga.
Yeah.
It's like Lord of the Rings Metallica. So I was like, you got to name it Hardwood. So I've talked to K-Far. He wants to do some sweatshirts, a little logo. I don't know. I'm just trying to get something started. Everybody make a few bucks. If people, you're not ripping people off that way,
Yeah.
for merchandise. So, I mean, if you got a logo or an idea for a logo, let me know.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
I mean, you see my logo right now?
Yeah.
She made that. She made that in about a half hour. I told her what I wanted. She says, all right. Half hour later, she sent me it. There you go. I'm like, perfect. You got to see the one from my gaming channel. I don't game on it. Sanitarium Gaming. Got Captain Caveman with Lucille, and then a bunch of zombies, and then bullet holes through the logo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're on here for fun. I'm on here everybody's on here for fun, but you are taking time out. You got to buy this equipment and everything, and why not? It's honest work. You're not scamming anybody here. Oh, I'll help this person out, and I'll give them $60, and I'll keep 3,000.
Oh, are we going to Chile again?
Well, I mean, he's the worst.
Oh, absolutely agreed.
Yeah, and then you got Order in America, bragging about all their shit, and so.
Okay, so actually, Alan.
I bored the hell out of you.
Alan has corrected me. The earliest school shooting, July 26th, 1764. Greencastle, Pennsylvania. See, what is it? 4 American Indians entered the schoolhouse and shot and killed the schoolmaster and 9 or 10 children.
Okay, that begs the question, shot with what?
Does it matter? I mean, it was not primitive back then, but
no, I mean, were you talking with a blunderbuss, with a musket, with a bow and arrow?
Yeah. Well, you shoot a bow and arrow still, right? You say you shoot it. It's in the
I'm just
school.
shot with what?
The article doesn't specify whether it was with firearms or whether it was bow and arrows.
Okay.
Well, see, that's a good point because of this whole thing with gun control. You want to take guns away from good people. I think everybody that wants to own a gun should be able to own it and carry it responsibly, as long as you passed all. I don't mind them getting stricter, with training, before you can actually have the gun, as a process. I'm okay with that because I don't want some 50-year-old, 60-year-old lady with a gun that doesn't know how to shoot it. And in a store that makes a mistake and makes the situation worse. But if they take the guns away, people are going to stab each other. Hammers are going to run people over with cars. I mean, come on. If somebody wants to hurt somebody, they're going to find a way.
Yeah.
But at least if they come into a room and, somebody in there's got a gun, like that church shooting in Texas. The guy pulled out a shotgun and he was able to get 2 people. And 6 people pulled the gun, and the one guy shot him dead.
Yeah,
and Bloomberg's over there saying that he broke the law. He should have waited for the cops. It would have taken 15 minutes to get there. He ended it.
Well, I mean, look at the one in Indiana that we had this year at the mall. Concealed carrier took out the gunman before he could do much more damage than he had already done.
I was never against guns. I played with guns when I was a kid. I watched, but I never was against them. I didn't, where I was at the time, I couldn't. It's hard to get. It's even harder now. But I understood it.
I mean,
look how many guns are coming across the border for the past 2 years plus.
I mean, I grew up
overabundant.
I was always taught, always treat it as it's loaded, and don't play with it.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be carrying concealed, if it comes out of your pocket, you better be in fear of your life if that trigger gets pulled.
Exactly.
Do not brandish it. Do not hold it up and say, stop, put your hands up. If it comes out, you better be ready to use it.
Yeah, if somebody cuts in front of you in the supermarket, boy, you're going to, hey, get back there.
Don't be like that.
You know what? The other guy, that guy's going to be armed more likely too. So, I mean, everybody thinks we're going to have the wild, wild west. Look what the big cities are having now.
I forget what the YouTube channel is, but there's one guy that was, what was he doing? I think he was practicing like quick draws, and he shot himself in the thigh.
Sorry.
There's a YouTube video of it.
Did you see the YouTube video of the DEA agent doing a talk in front of a classroom, and he shoots himself in his foot?
Yep.
Okay. They showed us that one at the range for years.
I also saw the one where the FBI agent was dancing and his gun fell out and discharged.
The guy I used to work for 25 years, landscaping, friend of mine. We talked 2-3 hours a week at least. He bought a gun last year. It took 6 months in New Jersey to get approved for the license. He's got no criminal record, no nothing. He got the gun. He buys a .357 Magnum. I'm like, he's like, do you feel lucky, punk? I'm like, yeah, hold 6 bullets, but that's a shot, man. Holy shit. He said, yeah, my daughter's going to get one now. Because it's getting bad in New Jersey. Certain areas.
Oh, I
Like
don't doubt
crazy
it.
town. I mean, look at New York.
I don't doubt it. I mean, my concealed carry gun, and I get made fun of this all the damn time, is a Chiappa Rhino.
I don't know anything about guns. You know, I know the basic. I know nothing about guns.
It's
I'm not
considered
an
one of the ugliest revolvers you could ever have.
I know AR-15 is a mean assault rifle.
No,
I don't
it's
know
on the
anything
line.
about guns, but I will back up anybody that wants to own a gun and they're in right mind.
Yeah.
You know, I know if you got a gun, I'm fine with that. I'm surrounded by guns. There's some militias around here. A doomsday preppers where I am. I'm safe. I mean, if shit hit the fan, it'd be a while before it comes out my way. And hey, can I borrow this? Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, here's some food. You know, I don't know. I hope it doesn't come down to that, but things are getting weird. And anyway, in a normal society, you should have a right to defend yourself. A police officer will never get there in time.
Oh, hey.
That's that old saying. When seconds count, 911 is minutes away.
Yeah, listen to this. This cop pulls over this 80-year-old lady. Barely head above the steering wheel. Pulls her over. And he says, you went through that stop sign back there. She said, I'm sorry. She said, I have to let you know I have a gun in the glove box. He goes, okay, thank you for telling me. He said, no need to reach for it. He says, I got 6 more in the trunk. He's like, 6 more? She's like, yeah, I got a couple shotguns, a rifle. He's like, man, what the hell you got this many guns for? What are you afraid of? She said, not a damn thing.
Well, that's like around here. I've seen those bumper stickers on a lot of the redneck trucks, as I call them, where it says, I don't dial 911, I reach for 1911.
Hey.
If I was a gun owner, I wouldn't be flaunting it.
But, you know, if the guy's warning you, I'd pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think, you know, innocent people will be able to defend themselves.
Well, I put it like this, right? I would rather be armed and prepared for something bad to happen than have to wait on 911. Because, and we talk about this when I do the active shooter discussions with the client sites. Average response time for law enforcement in urban areas is 2 to 5 minutes. And one of the exercises I have them do is I will put 2 1-gallon water jugs out on the table, and I will make them hold them straight out from their sides and run in place for 2 to 5 minutes.
Damn.
I'm like, now picture you having to fight an active shooter without a weapon for 2 to 5 minutes until law enforcement can get here.
Mm-hmm.
Luck. Depends what you know.
Within a minute and a half, everybody has put those jugs back down on the table and says, I can't do it.
I wouldn't even embarrass myself trying. I know the point you're trying to make.
Because I use that because I've seen it used by police departments when they're training their officers on, you know, the whole point is you got to keep fighting and fighting the bad guy until your backup gets here, because your backup is 2 to 5 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of shit can happen in 2 to 5 minutes.
I want to see the legalization of all drugs. It's not going to change anything. Like when they say, "Oh, we're going to legalize pot." Oh my God, there's going to be so many people. The same people are going to be smoking pot. Maybe you might get a few extra ones going, "Oh, it's legal now," but it's not when you go to your job for a drug test. Still, the fucking idiot in Colorado when they opened dispensaries and they look what I bought. Hey, somebody from work showed him, so he got drug tested the next day. Lost his job. He had a lot of weed though.
Well,
you put it in, people are going, getting a felony on their record for, let's say an ounce of weed. Okay? They get more years than a pedophile gets.
yeah, drug penalties, even on the federal level, are way out of line for what they
Logan,
should.
what you did, you caught bricks of marijuana, cocaine, probably every damn drug they make, right?
Yes.
I've heard a couple of your stories in previous streams, like in Dr. Dave, you were talking. I couldn't comment because I'm not allowed. But so you like that? Yeah, that's not personal use. That's mass.
No.
But if it,
I'm not arguing with you, Smitty, at all. I'm
no,
saying
I know you're not.
drug penalties are way out of line for what they should be for personal use. It's like, come on, guys. I know. Look, we've already lost the war on drugs.
That's been around since I was a kid. The never-ending war. Just all it is a facade. I guess maybe that would be a word.
You got
a better one.
Spend money.
Yeah, they want the drugs on their street because that's how these towns and states make money.
People would ask me all the time. It's like, wouldn't you be out of a job if they legalized drugs? And I'm like, no.
Because there would still be a process you have to follow when you go through customs or anything like that.
Hey, look, opium is legitimately grown for medicinal purposes and shipped into pharmacy companies in the U.S. to be manufactured into Vicodin or, whatever they need to make.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they come right in through because we're expecting them. Hey, you guys meet the requirements. Cool. But it's the folks from Thailand and Cambodia who are, secreting it in their mail that's going through the U.S. Postal Service that, yeah, my dog's going to nail you. And we're not talking bricks. We're talking grams. But still, it's, hey, you're going to get people smuggling stuff in who don't go through the proper channels.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this whole overturned Terry versus Ohio and all this shit that these people are hell bent on.
Shot myself.
I'm hell bent on overturning Terry Deal. That's chilly, Ballywick.
No, but I was saying, there's other issues that would fix a lot of things. Oh, I remember this one, yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Goes to pull it out of the holster. I just fucking shot myself.
He probably had a baloney holster. Oscar Mayer. My holster has a first name. Assholes are gonna get guns, okay, period. If they want guns and you're gonna cause, trouble, you're gonna get your hands on a gun.
Well, I mean,
like where I live, the coroner comes with the cops.
Like
when you
this
call
guy, this one that we just watched, right? I can tell you right now, one of his main problems is his finger was way too close to that trigger when he pulled it out of the holster. That's how he shot himself. And if I'm not mistaken, that was a Colt 1911. And if you know anything about the 1911, once you put a round in the chamber, that hammer stays locked back. There is no decocker to decock a 1911.
Okay. Like I said, I don't.
So once you have it around in the chamber, mag's fully loaded, the hammer's in the back position, and it's in a holster, if you barely breathe on that trigger, it's going off.
Damn.
That's the one that you carry?
No, I carry a Chiappa Rhino. Mine is for concealed carry. It's a Chiappa Rhino.
Okay.
If I'm open carrying, I'm carrying a Sig P229.
Okay.
Back in my day, when we had the turf wars, if you call it, my town would have a carnival during the summer, and it was like a carnival. They bring the 2-headed cow at one time, and animal control had to come and make sure everything was all right. Anyway, people in the next town didn't like certain people that had long hair, and so we always went there prepared. And I used to have a sweatshirt with a denim jacket, cut sleeves, but under the sweatshirt, I used to tape on my forearm on both sides, on both arms, seat posts from bicycles that I cut to fit. So if anything happened, I just hit them with my forearms either way, and they're getting a can't see.
Now, if you want to watch stupid people
You're
with
supposed to say,
firearms,
Smitty, you were so smart.
if you want to see stupid people with firearms, you have to go to Brandon Herrera's channel on YouTube. When he does the Darwin Awards, you will see beyond stupid stuff with firearms.
I watched a guy, Heavy County. Yeah, I think it's Heavy County or something like that. He's a good old boy, and he's a big boy, but he does a lot of videos on that one guy that had the black militia during all the riots. That they were there. It was during the Breonna Taylor, and they were there, and they were supposed to be all these ex-military in training. The first day they go to a protest, one of the guys shot another guy in the foot because he didn't know how to handle his gun. And he was making fun of him. He's like, "You're this big militia and say all this stuff, and you shoot your own guy." Guns ain't made to play with,
Well, I mean, look at the what the hell do they call themselves back in 2020? The NFAT or the NFTA or whatever it is. It was an all-black militia, supposedly. You could tell that some of the members of this so-called militia were other races, including white. But they walked around with 22 caliber AR-15 styled rifles and had a 223 round shell stovepiped.
Okay. Logan, you know what he's talking about, right?
when we say stovepipe, what that means is the shell casing is sticking out of the injection.
Oh yeah,
chamber.
yeah, I do.
Like
Well,
I said, I know nothing.
Okay,
The
no.
NF
Stovepipe is when the shell doesn't fully eject and it gets caught between the slide and the action.
Yeah.
Right in there. So yeah.
They went to Kentucky for the Breonna Taylor stuff. And they were out in the middle of a public square, and one of their so-called militia members fired a round off accidentally, and it struck another member, or maybe two of them, in the militia.
Hope nobody was hurt, dead, right?
No one was hurt bad, but the leader of this so-called all-black militia did get arrested for something he did in Kentucky on that same day. He had an AR-15 rifle and was pointing it up at the rooftops of buildings around the square. And he just so happened to what we call lasering, which is where you point the barrel at somebody, and lasered a couple of federal agents on top of the federal courthouse.
They don't like that.
No, they do not.
Well,
And
lasers
so they,
are illegal. I mean, they shine my planes and everything.
No, Smitty, it's a term. Pretend that a laser is coming out the barrel of your firearm.
Yeah.
And that means that the barrel, if that dot were to go across somebody, that means your barrel's pointing at them. That's the term called lasering them.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But I'm talking about the handheld lasers, kids play with and they try to.
Oh, the cat toy?
Yeah, the cat toy. Yep, exactly. I have a whole basket full of 3 of them, 4 of them.
Yeah, you're not supposed to point those at people.
No, and people do it. I seen a prank video. Something happened with an airplane. Somebody pointed a laser from the ground at an airplane.
well, some of the criminals will point them at police helicopters.
Well, cat toys go far.
Nah, the low wattage lasers that you get, like at the 99-cent store or something, they're not going to blind anybody. You don't want to shine it directly into anybody's eyeballs, but really all it's going to do is give you hours of fun playing with your cat or your dog. If you want to point it at a camera lens,
Or your wife,
it'll blind the camera lens from close distance. I was seeing stuff coming in from China that burns holes through paper and actually burns wood. Just those things. Those will light up a cockpit like you wouldn't believe because of the plexiglass on there.
Yeah.
It just boom, and it completely blinds the pilot and the co-pilot. So yes, that's bad news with those things. My neighbor that he can shine and you can literally see on the hillside miles away. They do make those.
Okay, so
great.
Here's another one for us. An off-duty police officer shoots himself.
I've seen tasing. I've never seen shooting.
I think I've seen this one. Yeah, there's no sound. It's an elevator camera.
Oh.
Shit, let me get my glasses.
Make up your own commentary.
Well, here's the thing. He drops the firearm. He's got a bunch of stuff in his other hand, and instead of putting that down, he bends over with that in his other hand, grabs the gun off the floor of the elevator, and goes to holster it, and his finger hits the trigger and shoots himself.
Yeah.
They used to preach at our range every time that we went, so I know they said it every day. If you find yourself dropping your firearm, let it hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
don't try and grab for it. There was a Orange County sheriff's deputy who shot herself up in the head underneath her chin because she was at the range, fumbled her firearm, went to grab at it, and bang. So let it hit the ground.
Well, Logan, there's an exception to that. If your name is Keanu Reeves, John Wick, you can do it. You can do it,
bro.
Yeah, I know. But I watched him do the training that he did for John Wick. I don't know. It's on a YouTube video where he's at a gun range
Mm-hmm.
and that duck and dive, reload. You know, he had one from AR-15 or whatever, the M16 he had. Then he went to the pistol
Mm-hmm.
where he was practicing with, somebody training him with the gun. And it was pretty cool to see.
Oh, it is. And if you practice anything, long enough and all that, you're going to get it down and you can do it. And I fully believe in practicing and practicing and practicing if you're going to be dealing with firearms.
Oh yeah, and there's a reason why. There's a reason why police departments now make you practice before they even let you touch a real gun. They make you practice with what we call red man guns.
Yep.
Buddy of mine that joined the Marines before the pandemic started. I talked to him and I used to work with him. Took him 3 years to get in the Marines. Well, anyway, he messaged me one day. He's like, Smitty, I got to hold an M16 and shoot it today. They were training. Then he messaged me like 3 weeks later. He's like, he had to be underwater but stay 6 inches above the floor and swim across, we're holding the M16.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I did that. That was awesome. I'm like, well, you're not Rambo, buddy. So be careful.
Yeah. Marine Corps basic training is no joke.
Yeah. Well, this kid was a tough kid, number one. He wasn't, a fighter, but if he got into a fight, he was freaking strong. Stronger than he looked. Trust me.
Yeah, most of the military branches that are ground forces, such as Air Force, Army, Marines, Air Force and Army, I think it's like a 300-meter shoot you got to qualify for. In the Marines, it's 600.
400 in the Air Force.
Yeah, I mean, it takes certain people, if you, like I said, these gun laws are not helping. They're hurting.
Yeah, they are.
They say we have to change according to the environment. Well, some schools are making that change. And I guarantee you'll never see those schools on the news ever. Unless somebody tried because they were an idiot and got taken out before they did anything. Pretty sad we live in that, but I remember courthouses you just walked in. Then all of a sudden the metal detectors.
Oh, yeah.
And then they went to the conveyor, the school I went to, the school is like 150 years old probably now. My daughter went there and graduated. You got to buzz the buzzer and say who you're there to pick up. And they buzz you in. And I'm like, I went to school here. You just walked in, walked out,
Courthouse security really started getting tight after the Brian Nichols incident here in Atlanta.
It should be. It's common sense.
I mean, it got really tight.
But
then again,
when Ask Homo, they are the ones saying, "Oh, our Fourth Amendment." I'm like, dude, who wants to sit in the courtroom for a traffic ticket and get shot at from some guy that has it out for the judge that got a gun in? I mean, bad enough you're in court, then you got to worry about that shit. So there's a reason why that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the hospital in my town. They got a sheriff sitting there, and he goes through the, you got any bazookas and C4? I'm like, oh, I left my C4 in my other pants, and he laughs, and we joke around when they had to go there, emergency room. But I'm glad that's there. I mean, we live in that kind of world now. Well, I think we always did, but we didn't have the technology to stop it. So, new topic.
Yeah.
New topic. I just keep thinking about when I was going through the anti-terrorism training. Because everybody was getting trained in it after 9/11 and all this stuff.
Yeah,
And,
I went through some of the training for that.
And it's constantly evolving. Anyway, one of the tools that we have in customs is a radiation detection pager. And it's really simple. It detects gamma radiation, X radiation, and a couple other on the electromagnetic spectrum, not alpha or beta rays. Anyway, it's the size of a oversized pager. Works really good. In a matter of fact, it's only one of the only pieces of equipment that I bought after I retired because it works so well. And the readout is 0 to 9. Anyway, I'm in this anti-terrorism training, and the guy's saying, don't worry, there's no bomb that can be set off by an X-ray. And I said, yeah, wait until they get a hold of one of our radiation detection pagers and turn that into a triggering device. The guy just looked at me and said, you're the reason I drink. So,
yeah, they made us take the when I was working for the malls, they made us take the free online anti-terrorism test on the FLETC page.
right.
And they also made us take NIMS 100 and 700.
You too, huh?
Yeah. God, I sat there in front of the computer for hours with the NIMS tests. I'm like, what the hell is this shit?
And they don't let you fast forward through the videos.
No, they don't.
Even if you
See, both of you guys are. Oh, God, I'm sorry.
The video.
Yeah, those. I hated watching those videos. I always caught myself sitting in the office watching one of those videos and dozing off.
Oh man!
And then waking back up like, is it over yet?
I think the worst ones were the ones that FEMA did.
Oh.
God, it's 5 minutes of information, but it's an hour and a half long video, and it's like, really?
I actually like the sexual harassment videos.
Hey, you know what? If you're working for the federal government, date outside the workplace. Just don't even. Don't even.
I never did that.
I'm not answering that.
I work with mostly guys, so that wasn't even an option.
Oh no! What was the other one they had us take? Oh, it's like the most simple anti-terrorism test they ever had us take was the Department of Defense Anti-Terrorism Awareness Level 1.
Okay.
That literally, it's basic questions about how to make sure that no one is following you to a military base. I'm like, and what does this have to do with my job? I'm not going to a military base. I'm going to a large mall. It's not like I can pull up into the mall and have guards at a guard gate activate those ramps or those barriers that shoot up out of the damn ground.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. I'm giggling. They installed those at the gates at LAX, only they weren't the stanchions that popped up. They were the big plates that came up hydraulically.
Oh.
We had this one dog handler, and she was different. All right, very intelligent. She served in the Army as an air traffic controller, but she really, really loved dogs, so she wanted to be a dog handler. Wrong reason. Anyway,
Oh,
she wasn't that street smart, bright, whatever you want to call it. Book smart, she was great, but nah. When you go onto the airfield, it's one person per swipe unless you're escorting somebody. Okay? Those are the rules. We all know the rules. So the boss is in front of her. Another handler is behind her. Boss goes through, swipes his card, pushes his code in. Thing goes down. He drives through. Thing comes up. That's the way it's supposed to work. He went through. She followed. Thing came up, and there's her car at a 45-degree angle. Oops.
wow.
I got in. I was working a 3 to 11 shift, and I got in, and these guys are pissed because now they've got to do the reports on it. And I'm like, what happened? And they told me, and I just giggled as I was going out to get my dog. I was like, have fun. Oh, man. She finally transferred, and actually she's an air traffic controller again, so she's happy. So good for her.
Oh, that's a stressful ass job.
She loves it. No, she was the type of person that if she wasn't getting drama or stress in her life, she would create it.
Oh no.
She talked so much trash about her husband. I came into work one day and someone said, hey, so-and-so's husband died. And I'm like, did she kill him? And they my chief who said that to me, and he just gave me this really dirty look. And then he notified the other handlers that were coming in. And to a person, they're like, did she kill him? It finally dawned on me. It's like, oh, crap. Everybody's asking the same question. Maybe I better call that local department back.
Well, if we're on work stories, I got a totally different work, job field than you guys. But it's entertaining, I believe, to anybody. Walmart. I had fun there, stupid stuff. The one customer that didn't get to me just made me laugh. He was with his wife and 12-year-old son, and he says to me, you guys are out of that, that log you light, whatever, that starter log, what do they call that? For a fire?
The what?
They sell in the packet. That log, they sell, log
the fire
starters.
starter logs.
Oh,
Yeah.
last logs. Something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, the
He's
fire.
like, he said, I looked in the garden center, and the guy said that you guys were out of it. I'm like, well, then we're out of it, I can go look and waste time, but he says, do you think Home Depot has it? I says, I don't know. I'm over here working at Walmart. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's a good point. I said, you can call them. I mean, it's right there where we were. I'm like, what do you think Lowe's has it? And his wife's looking away and everything and I says, I'm still working at Walmart. I do not know what Lowe's has. And I says, anything else I can help you with? No, that's all right. I said, all right, see you later. But I worked prior to that 4 years at a Tyson chicken rendering plant.
Okay, I know you got stories from there.
Oh, good
Now,
grief.
You wouldn't believe. Now, number one, it's a very dangerous place. Anywhere you work there. Okay, I unloaded. When they dump those open top trucks of guts, some of those trucks go up and then they tip. had to work in the they call it the dump room. They mix feather and blood. Blood tanker comes in, they empty it into their tank, and they mix the feathers and blood. That comes out like pellets. That goes into makeup and all that. Well, anyway, I used to unload the 18-wheelers with the 2,000-pound boxes on a pallet of chicken skins, chicken nuggets from the plant that, they couldn't, that were bad, so they got to sell it. So they go, all this goes into dog food. Don't ever buy Blue Buffalo.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, because they were one of our customers. Now, of course, Blue Buffalo plants or wherever they make it all over the world, so different. But at my plant, pallets went into there, pieces of pallet. They went into the cooker, and they cook up, That comes out, it smells just like dog food when it comes out, and one spoonful will kill a 150-pound dog.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't feed my dog Blue Buffalo.
Rachel Ray. That's what I've been using. All my dogs love it.
He won't touch Rachel Ray.
Well, it's not for every dog, but I got one family, their little dog, they came in and they said, "Can you recommend a dog food?" I said, "I sure can. Rachel Ray right here." He's like, "You didn't even waste." I was like, "No, because that's what I use." I said, "What are you using?" Blue Buffalo. I said, "Oh my God, please get this bag." I said, "Where'd you buy it? Petco?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You got a little bit left in the bag? At least one little kernel or whatever you call it?" He's like, I said, "Take it back to them and you'll get a full refund. That's their policy." He came back. He was paying $90 for this bag. It was 10 pounds less than a 40-pound bag of Rachel Ray. And that was $40. So it was like $1 a pound. They came back a week later and said, "Thank you so much. My little dog don't throw up no more. They're eating it. They love it. Thank you so much." And I'm like, that's why I'm here. I don't care about the people. I just care about the pets.
Yeah, we feed Teddy Purina Pro Plan.
I've heard, I've heard, of course, when you go to the vet, they want to sell you their food. They have their special diet, and every now and then I feed my dogs liver, or raw chicken, a little bit raw chicken with carrots and everything. They get a treat. It's supposed to be good for their digestive system. I read the article. I understood it. For me to explain it, I'm a good explainer on a lot of the things.
No, I'm not telling you not
Sorry
to do
if
it.
I'm slurring my
Smitty, just be
fucking hell today.
Because dogs are affected with salmonella the same way we are.
Yeah. But beef liver, that's what I was looking for. And all my dogs loved it. My new one here, I don't know. He's stoned all the time too, so I don't know.
Your dog's all
well, yeah. My wife gets mad at me. She comes from work and she's like, he comes in the living room and he's freaking out. He's looking all around, barking at
All right, guys, we've been on stream for 2.5 hours. I'm going to go ahead and end this live.
All right, man. I think K-Park did a premiere up anyway too, so.
Yeah, I've got to go take care of the dog anyway, Smitty. I got to go feed him his dinner.
No, I understand. I bust balls. You know that. I think it was a good conversation. I learned a little bit both what you guys done, and I respect what you guys do. I don't like cops. I mean, who the hell likes to get pulled over? Yeah, I got pulled over. Of course, I don't like the bad cops, but I don't like the arrogant cops that think they're better than you. We watch these videos where they say, "Oh, you some kind of lawyer and I know we laugh at these people, but you don't have to be a lawyer to know you're right. I don't like those kind of cops. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I don't like them
The
either.
jobs you do, you protect citizens. Okay, Logan, you took care of the heavy stuff. Not saying commentator auditor doesn't, but from what I hear, you cover malls, you cover factories. Okay, so there's people stealing or whatever, or some,
Yeah, I've
That-
worked with just about a little bit of everything when it comes to security, including asset protection or loss prevention, whatever one you
Yeah.
want to call it.
So I'm not gonna get mad at you if I gotta walk into a facility and empty my pocket because I got nothing to hide. Number one, I ain't got much in my pockets anyway. And what does it take? 30 seconds? You grab your stuff and you're on your way. I don't see that as intrusive or breaking anybody's rights. That's protect. At least I know the guy that has the gun ain't getting through and coming in there in the courtroom where I'm going, or motor vehicle, or whatever it is. In the mall, we have mall shootings now, and there've always been mall shootings. Okay, yeah, there's Paul Blart. You make fun of it, but you guys do an honest freaking living. So I salute you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I enjoyed everything here. I don't know anything about guns, but like I said, I am behind anybody that's in their right frame of mind and wants to carry. But don't be a Dr. Dave and show all your shit on YouTube.
Especially when you're
that-
drunk.
Yeah, okay, but that's not a good gun owner. That's not a responsible gun owner. Logan, would you ever do that?
Nope.
Commentator order, would you ever do that?
Nope.
Why? Because it's stupid. Plain and simple, right? And you're not stupid to do that.
Exactly.
That's not a.
Well,
He scares me having those guns and drinking. He's gonna hurt somebody pursuing the way he's going.
Well, I'm not just picking on Dave. Brandishing a firearm on YouTube is dumb anyway.
That's what I'm saying. But then he did it, and while he was drinking, and he said he was drinking.
Yeah, and we've all seen
In the right
video
hands
the
of
one-
authority. I mean, that broke YouTube's policy or what? Yeah, terms of service. That should have been, his channel should have been shut down over that. That's why. I mean, I can't believe people are still following him. He buys subscribers and he buys viewers on his live.
Mm-hmm.
Because he'll go, I watch his lives. He'll go from 6, 7 people, and all of a sudden he's at 300. But the same 6, 7 people are commenting for an hour.
Yep.
And so there's some other people that I think do it. Of course, that's Elmo. They bought those. Because he'll get more than 100 people in his live. So anyway, you guys have a good night. I'll probably catch you some of the stream tonight. And I won't come up next time. I take the show over. I'm sorry.
Hey, Smitty, you're more than welcome to come for your own panel.
I got
anytime.
nobody to talk to here. I talk to my dog. I talk to myself. I don't get to spend much time with my wife because she's working and she's doing things to take care of me. Tonight is shower night. Yay!
All right. Well, Logan, thanks for coming up on panel.
Huh? Oh, talking over you.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask before we go. Do you have your CPP yet?
No, not yet.
I had my PB.
Certified protection professional, Smith.
Yeah, I know. I had to. Missing tile.
Plan on this being your career. That's a really good thing to have under your belt.
Yeah. Well, I had to get my had to finish getting the rest of my private detective's license stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? You know what your new nickname is? I just thought of it. You're Sheriff Lobo. Remember that show? He is our Sheriff Lobo. Bye. And he had that dumb deputy.
Oh,
Look it up.
Lord.
It was in Georgia.
Oh boy.
So I'm going to call you Sheriff Lobo. It's obvious for Logan, and he's already been called Willie Nelson.
Yeah, it's kind of a dead giveaway, isn't it?
Do you play guitar or sing?
I know how to physically play a guitar, but I've got no talent, and you do not want to hear me sing.
You got the voice, man. You got the deep tone.
I'd
That
be
right
better
tone for
with a
country. I mean, I can't see you doing death metal or mumble rap, but you got the voice for country.
Well, thank you.
So anyway, that's it.
All right.
You guys be good. End the fucking stream. Bye.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next time.
All right, later.